Once upon a time, in a quiet corner of a big, bustling city, there was a tiny kitten with soft grey fur and a little white patch shaped like a button on her chest. Her name was Buttons. Buttons had no home. She had been born in a box behind a bakery, and though the smell of bread warmed the air, no one ever came looking for her. But Buttons didn't mind too much. She liked to chase falling leaves, nap in sunbeams, and watch people walk by with stories in their pockets. But deep down, Buttons wanted more than anything to belong to someone, somewhere. One chilly evening, as the wind began to howl and clouds rolled in like dark waves, Buttons shivered behind a stack of crates. The first drops of rain began to fall, and her tiny paws slipped on the wet pavement. She needed shelter, fast. With her tail curled low and her ears flat, Buttons darted from alley to alley. Thunder rumbled above, and the streets emptied as people hurried indoors. That's when she heard it, a cry, soft and scared. Not from a cat, from a child. Buttons followed the sound, weaving between puddles and hopping over drains. The voice was coming from a little apartment window, slightly open, light glowing through the glass. Buttons climbed a trash bin and peeked in. Inside, a little girl with tear-streaked cheeks sat hugging her knees. A nightlight glowed beside her bed, but it did nothing to chase away the shadows in her room or the storm outside. Her name was Emma. She had moved to the city only a few weeks ago, leaving behind her old home, her garden swing, and the dog she had to say goodbye to. Now, in this new, unfamiliar place, everything felt strange and too quiet. Her parents tried to comfort her, but tonight the thunder was louder than their words. "I wish I had someone to hold," she whispered into the dark. Buttons felt something stir in her chest. She didn't know this girl. She didn't even know her own way around the block. But something told her this cry mattered, so she leapt. With a soft thump, Buttons landed on the windowsill and meowed. Emma gasped and turned. A pair of wide eyes, hers and the kitten's, met across the glass. For a moment, the storm outside went quiet in their world. Emma stood slowly and pushed the window open. Buttons didn't wait. She stepped inside with little wet paw prints behind her and curled right into the girl's arms. "You're all wet," Emma whispered with a surprised giggle, wiping Buttons gently with her blanket. "Are you real?" Buttons meowed again and nestled closer. That night, Emma didn't cry. She didn't hide beneath her covers or tremble at the thunder. She stroked the soft fur of the kitten in her arms and whispered her fears into the quiet night. And Buttons listened. From that night on, Buttons became Emma's best friend. She slept at her feet, followed her around the house, and waited at the window when Emma left for school. The apartment began to feel a little warmer, a little brighter, and a little more like home. Emma told Buttons everything about her old town, her dreams, and the colours she loved best. And Buttons, with her bright button-shaped patch and calm purrs, reminded Emma that love could find you, even in storms. But their story wasn't over yet. One day, as Emma and her parents were hanging up a missing cat flyer they'd made, just in case someone out there was looking for Buttons, a knock came at the door. It was an elderly woman with kind eyes and a coat full of cat fur. Her hands trembled as she held out a picture. "My kitten," she said softly. "She went missing weeks ago. Her name was Buttercup, but she looks just like your Buttons." Emma's heart sank. Buttons blinked and tilted her head. The woman knelt slowly. "Hello, little one. You look so much like the kitten I lost, but you've grown braver, haven't you?" Buttons walked over, sniffed the woman's hand, then returned to Emma and curled around her feet. The woman smiled, tears gathering in her eyes. "She's made her choice, hasn't she?" Emma's parents invited the woman in for tea, and they talked for hours. They discovered that the woman had lived just a few blocks away. She had rescued Buttons as a newborn but lost her during a move. "I missed her every day," she said, sipping her tea. "But seeing her now, knowing she found someone who needed her, that's more than I ever hoped for." Before she left, the woman bent down once more and scratched behind Button's ears. "Thank you," she whispered. "You were brave. You found your way to someone who needed you most." That night the sky was clear. No thunder, no rain, just stars. Emma lay in bed, Buttons curled against her chest, purring gently. "You're my brave little Button," she said, smiling. "My storm chaser, my forever friend." And Buttons, with her heart finally full, let out a soft, contented sigh. She had found her someone, and through the storm she had found her way home.